This is Daf Yerushalmi Demai. The Yarsko Oz V'Har edition. This is Daf Mem Vav. Yesterday we read the Mishnah, and so we're supposed to start there from the beginning of the Gemara. Although we're going to go a little bit back into the Mishnah to see my close of Yira and Meir in the Vilna. It is Daf Chavbeis of Aleph. Again, right, we're going to be in the Gemara. We're going to go back into the Mishnah a little bit. Okay, so my Mishnah said, "Machlis Meir and Rabbi Yehuda." Okay, I'm going to read the whole Mishnah. Okay, I'm going to somebody buys from the pauter who's a retailer, massive called foods. He takes myself of each and every mold, each and every form. Divrei Meir, Rabbi Yehuda Meir, Me'echra call from one on all of them. Rabbi Yehuda could see Zimbabwe Lokech when I'm monopole buys from a monopolist. Shumaser Mikol Echvach takes myself each and every one. Okay, so the Gemara says, "What's my business?" Rabbi Yehuda. The baker, the wholesale baker, makes one form. If I have multiple forms, it must come from multiple bakers. Obviously, there's multiple forms. The retailer is getting from several bakers. No, a nachdom makes several forms. The retail seller gets from one supplier, one baker. So that's based on machlekes. How many achtomim there are? Because the question is whether you take off from one batch to another batch. The batch determines how many nachtomim you took from. So according to Reb Meir, this in the fact that several forms indicates it's several nachtomim. So you have to take off meiser for each every form. But Reb Meir doesn't indicate that because nachtomim himself is several forms. So therefore, you only have to take off once, no matter how many different forms you buy. Ezuman who's going to be a monopolist? Rabbi Yehuda Amar Tisha Bater Vasora Nachdomim. The 9 retailers and 10 wholesalers. Timnei mean the Timnei 8 take from 8. V'chad mean the tray, and 1 takes from 2. So, okay, it's interesting that's called a monopolist. But the one who takes from 2, even though he's only taking from 2, he's still called a monopole, and therefore he has to you have to take off from each and every loaf by itself. Rabbi Yonah boy, right? Rabbi Yonah boy. In front of Shnei Tfasim. You had 2 in front of you 2 forms. Hochiach al atzmam shehein shnayim. So this indicates that they are 2 different bakers. Hushvu kulam fus echad. So, but then you start getting all of them in one form. Maaser mikol kikar v'kikar. You take maaser from each and every loaf. So it used to be that there was multiple forms. Now it became one form. You take. Do I assume now it all comes from one baker? I can take one maaser and everything, or do I assume that no, it still comes from multiple bakers? The fact that the forms are now the same. So even a boy in Yerushalmi is sometimes a question and sometimes a statement. Here it seems that it's a question and it's not resolved. Rabbi Yehuda goes on to ask another question. But Rabbi Yehuda boy, Kabbalah Tema Tisha Palterim, by certain achtomim, we have 9 retailers and 10 wholesalers. Timnai means the Timnai 8 take from 8. The Cham trade 1 takes from 2. We call that a monopole. Kavasor Tisha achtomim basor paltin. You have 9 bakers and 10 retailers. Tamnai means Tamnaya. 8 and 8 corresponds to 8. The Chad and 1, the one baker, mean the tray. Literally means takes from 2. But the Makin Mecham Meshorim suggested to change it. Utrei mean the Chad. 2 from 1. And according to this, you have to also make the Girsa. Maser Mechad al Kol, like later on, not like it was previously. So the Chaim Kanievsky does not go with. He also does change the girsa here. He says it seems from the Gra, and he has here also Tishna Tom Asar Paltin Tam Naim Manaya the tray mean the Chad. Same thing about like the Mechel Amayim. So since we say a palter normally uses one nachdom, here too do we say that the two palterin buy from one nachdom. So each one has here we have nine. Yeah, so each one has again we have 10, 10 palterin and 9 nachdomin, right? So the question is the 8 correspond to 8. What about the ninth guy? Does he also take only from one, or is he taking from? I mean, the two last guys. The two last guys. The last two, are they also taking from one, right? Which would seem to be the case, because there's only one left. So each palter only has from one nachdom, and we take mice all of them. Or not. That's not the case. Or perhaps we say that 9 buy from 9, and 1, in other words, one of the additional ones, one of the last two, lines up with the nachdom, right? And the last guy could perhaps buys from all the nachdomim, and we don't know. Therefore, from which we bought this one. So we say that 8 again. This last case is 10 the way the Mechamayim and Mechamayim learn. There are 9. There are 9 bakers and 10 retailers, and we know 8 correspond to 8. They are sole distributors of those 8. We don't know about 9 and 10. So do we say and there's 9 and 10 correspond to just one more baker, right? So we say, well, 9 and 10 also they buy from exclusively from one baker, perhaps from the last one, perhaps from a different one, but they buy exclusively from one baker. And or do we say that no, the ninth and the ninth line up? We don't know which one is the ninth. The ninth and the ninth line up. The 10th he buys from all the bakers, and therefore he is really not sole distribution, I guess. And therefore he would have, so according to the first mahalach, so we'll take whenever you buy from a palter, you can be mitzvah for one and everything, because everyone takes exclusively from baker. But the second mahalach, no, since one of them takes from all the bakers, at least that one, and if you don't know which one it is, you have to be mitzvah from each and every one. Okay, halacha hey. Halakach min ani. Kein ani shenitnu lo prusos or pilchei neved velos. So obviously, ani gets from many sources. So he takes something from an ani, or an ani himself gets slices, or slice of bread, or slices of devela, slices from a date cake. Masim kol he's got to take mitzvah of each and every one independently, because they come from different sources. But tomorrow migrogos, if he gets loose dates or figs, bowl of notel, he can mix them up and take mice off from the entire batch. And the way the second shot, we're going to go with the second shot of Moshe, which is like Reb Chaim explains it, which is that this Mishnah holds for purposes of the Ma Yesh Bila. In a mixture, we say that the mixture is going to be proportional, and therefore, whatever you take off is proportionally, depending on the batch, obviously either all not meiser or partially meiser, partially not meiser, or all not meiser. So but we say that it's proportional. So therefore, whatever you take off is going to have the same proportion as the entire mixture. So therefore, you can boil everything together, vanota, and take off the chumas and mice, whatever you have to take off. I mean, it says emphasize matching matanim merubah. So again, going to the second pshat Moshe pshat Reb Chaim. First pshat Moshe is different. It means when everybody gives a large amount, and then you can make a large mixture in which there's a proportional distribution. But if one person gave a small amount and the others gave large amounts, then it's not going to be a proportional distribution. We don't, so therefore, at least we're going to assume it's not a proportional distribution, and therefore you have to take meiser off each and every one of the grogos, and the grogos and Tamarin grogos separately. And that's the, as I said, it's maybe Moshe's second shot, where he says, "Amatona chasamei mewetes hu eino moel bila." Gemara first, okay. Next, Mishnah goes on and says, "Okay, minasiton." You bought it from a wholesaler. But a second time, the same wholesaler. He's a wholesaler. He buys he gets many different sources. You have to take myself from the one time you bought from him, another time you bought from him. I feel me also suk, I feel me also amin. Even if it's the same type, so the Mepharshim say the same type here means the same basket, the same container. And I guess it becomes to you in the same container. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same source, because each day there could be that container could be full of stuff from somewhere else. And I feel also mean, even if it's the same species, they said here doesn't necessarily mean wheat and barley, but they both be wheat, one in red, one white. So you can't say it was bought from one person. You have to take off from each one independently. I'm sorry, if they're both white or both red, you can't say they're both the same person. But the wholesalers believe to say that he bought all of it from the same person, even if it's 2 days, 2 batches, and therefore you can rely on him. And that brings us in the article to the bottom of Mem Vav Amud Beis, precisely, and so we will stop here for today.